It's fantasy football playoff time. Who you start and who you sit could easily decide whether you're one and done or whether you're moving on. This is FF Champs on Football Nation. I'm Butch Stearns of the Pulse Network. As usual, we turn to Billy Enright of FFChamps.com. Billy, I'm fortunate enough to be in my fantasy football playoffs in several different leagues. Like a lot of people, start 'em and sit 'em is going to decide my fate, isn't it?
It really is. It's all about the matchups. It's all about doing your research. Check out the rankings at FFChamps.com. We are taking every single day. We are analyzing practice reports, injuries, trying to make sure that our rankings are perfect for the fantasy playoffs because winning now is more important than ever.
All right, give me two quarterbacks. You got to start this week and why?
All right, I love Andrew Luck. I don't care if he's a rookie. I'm getting Andrew Luck into my lineup for this week. I have him ranked 8th on our rankings at FFChamps.com. He's playing against a Tennessee Titans defense that is ranked 28th when it comes to stopping the pass. Luck in Week 13, 391 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, we did have the 3 picks, but the 4 TDs certainly makes up for it. He's averaging at least 2 touchdowns when he's playing at home. And right now, he's on pace to finish with the 4th most yards out of any quarterback. Love Andrew Luck's matchup this week against the Titans. And then how about Joe Flacco, the Baltimore Ravens? I know that a lot of people are skeptical when it comes to Joe Flacco, but this is one of those weeks you'll want to use our guy Joe. He's ranked 13th against a Redskins defense that is 31st, second worst in the league against the pass.
All right, Billy, your 2 quarterbacks you're advising to sit. Let me ask you individually about them. Ryan Fitzpatrick of Buffalo. Win, lose games, he always seems to put up fantasy numbers, but not the case now?
I just don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick anymore. A lot of his team, a lot of his playmakers are banged up. Stevie Johnson has an injury. I have him ranked 21st this week, and he's playing against the Rams defense that is top 10 when it comes to shutting down the pass. I would leave Fitzpatrick on the bench.
All right, personal question for me. I know I'm going to make this selfish, but I'm in a PPR league with 1 flex position, and I can start another quarterback. For most of the year, that's been Phillip Rivers. Tom Brady's my number 1 quarterback. But this week, I'm thinking of sitting Rivers because I got Jason Witten on the bench behind Jimmy Graham. What am I doing? I mean, you're advising sitting Rivers no matter what this week, but am I starting Jason Witten over Phillip Rivers in my flex position?
The thing about those 2 quarterback leagues, it's great when you have a second quality quarterback because typically quarterbacks outscore any other position. But I'm really worried about Phillip Rivers this week. I have him ranked 19th. He's playing against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense that is number 1 when it comes to stopping the pass. Rivers hasn't thrown for over 300 yards in 3 weeks, and he has just 1 TD in the last 2 games. I don't know, Butch. I think Jason Witten in a PPR format is a much better option this week than Phillip Rivers.
Or if I look on my waiver wire, like you've been advising, Russell Wilson or some other quarterbacks might be out there, right?
Russell Wilson has a great matchup this week. I have him ranked a few spots ahead of Phillip Rivers. I would much rather see you play the rookie from Seattle than Phillip Rivers right now. The entire San Diego Charger team is struggling immensely.
I like it. Give me 2 running backs that all should start this week.
All right, how about Ahmad Bradshaw of the New York Giants? We have him ranked 9th in the top 10 for the first time in a long time. He's looking healthy again. He got 24 carries in Week 13, over 100 yards against the Redskins, and now he gets the pleasure of playing against the New Orleans Saints, who are dead last in the league when it comes to stopping the run. Every running back has quality games when they're playing against the Saints. I think Ahmad Bradshaw will do that in Week 14. And then how about Mikel LaShaw of the Detroit Lions? He's ranked inside the top 20. I got him at 18. The guy gets in the end zone 3 straight games with a touchdown, and the Packers have the 21st rushing defense in the league.
Again, another personal question for me, but I think a lot of people are facing these similar type decisions. You're advising starting Vic Ballard this week. You're advising sitting Ryan Matthews. I've got that exact choice in my league, and I'm struggling with it.
Go with Vic Ballard, Butch. I have him ranked 22nd. Possibly no Donald Brown because I think he's injured. He may not play this week. That means more carries for Vic Ballard. And Ballard got into the end zone against the Lions, playing against the Tennessee Titans defense that is second worst in the league. So Ahmad Bradshaw, the best matchup against the Saints. Vic Ballard, second best matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Let me spit out some numbers for you against Ryan Matthews with the Steelers. Ryan Matthews, absolutely pathetic this season. The Steelers have the 7th best run defense. Matthews, only 1 touchdown. He got into the end zone just 1 time this year. That's awful. And he has 0 games of over 100 yards. You cannot trust Ryan Matthews this week.
Wow, I haven't looked closely at those numbers. Those are compelling. He's been that bad. I haven't really looked at that. I'm still stuck on draft day that Ryan Matthews was drafted so high. Give me one other running back that you got to sit this week.
Bush, leave him on your bench. I have him ranked 28th this week. The Miami Dolphins are playing against the San Francisco 49ers, and they have the second best run defense in the NFL. Reggie Bush, single-digit fantasy points in 3 of his last 4 weeks. Only 1 touchdown during that span. Bush is a guy that just hasn't been putting up quality stats.
You got 3 wide receiver matchups you like this week for guys to start, huh?
I do. Love Pierre Garçon. Let's start it off with him. Back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. He finally looked healthy after missing the majority of the season with a foot injury. I have him ranked 19th against a Ravens defense that is 12th against when it comes to stopping wide receivers. I also like Jeremy Maclin of the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it may be hard to trust any player from Philly right now, but Maclin is ranked 25th this week at ffchamps.com, playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that has the worst passing defense in the league. I think the rookie quarterback, Nick Foles, will look to Jeremy Maclin a lot. And then my sleeper of the week is Lance Moore, ranked 23rd on the ffchamps.com rankings. Giants are 19th against the pass, but you know what? They always struggle when they're playing against Drew Brees. Love the matchup for Lance Moore.
And your wide receivers to sit this week, there's 2 names that have been the hottest names for about a month on the waiver wire, but the bloom is off the rose with them a little bit this week. And then there's a couple of Chargers on the board. You got a big bias against the Chargers this week going against Pittsburgh, huh?
I hate the Chargers matchup this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are playing lights out on defense right now. I'm going to start it off with Denario Alexander. You mentioned it, Butch. He's been hot. A big waiver wire claim a couple weeks ago. But you know what? He really cooled off in a big way. I have him ranked 42nd. Malcolm Floyd, his teammate, ranked 50th. They're going against the Steelers. They have number 1 pass defense in the league when it comes to shutting down wide receivers. Leave the Chargers on your bench this week. You'll be happy you did. And then another guy I've liked all season, or at least the last 8 weeks of the season, is Cecil Shorts of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's dealing with a head injury, and he's playing against a New York Jets defense that even without Darrelle Revis, they're still the 5th best passing defense in the league.
Tight ends. Who are we starting for tight ends?
All right, how about Greg Olsen of the Carolina Panthers? I have him ranked inside the top 10. He's number 7. And the reason why is the last time the Panthers played the Falcons, Olsen had a great game. 6 grabs, 89 yards, and a touchdown. That was back in week 4. I think he can repeat those numbers here in week 14. And then how about Dennis Pitta of the Baltimore Ravens, ranked 13th this week, taking on the Redskins. They're dead last when it comes to stopping the tight end.
And to finish up this whole segment, again, it's playoff time. Your tight end you're advising to sit is a guy you'd been advising to pick up on waiver wires, but you don't like this matchup this week.
Kyle, our favorite red zone reindeer, Kyle Rudolph, this week. Listen, he's playing against a Bears defense that is just playing phenomenal all season long. I would just lower your expectations a little bit for Kyle Rudolph.
Billy, good stuff as always. He's Billy Enright of ffchamps.com. It is fantasy football playoff time. That's your advice for this week to start him and sit him. Do your own homework, but check out ffchamps.com for their rankings and all the tools you need to help you move on in the playoffs, maybe even win your league.